MSNBC discovered a little something about Black Lives Matter protesters when they had some dialogue with some of them. This is interesting.
What impact do you foresee their movement having on the election?
Yeah, I spend a lot of time at protests, especially with the youth. I've been there from a personal reason, but also from an academic reason as well. I ask people there, what are you going to do in November? Why are you here? What are you going to do in November? And they say, I'm not going to show up because Bernie is not on the ticket. And I think that this highlights a bigger point, which is that even though we had this Democratic National Convention that was meant to unify a party, the DNC did not bring in the youth, and I think they need to do a better job of giving folks who have legitimate concerns about the direction of this country and their own interactions with institutions, including law enforcement, right, to be viewed, to be seen, to be heard, and to be included in the platform.
That's great. I love the host says, wow, when she says, oh, I spoke to a bunch of the people and they said, I'm probably not going to vote because Bernie's not on the ticket. The MSNBC was like, wow. Yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised by this. Are you guys surprised by this? I'm not very surprised by this. And then, they accurately make the point, hey, the DNC was meant to unify the party, but it didn't really unify the party. They didn't really bring in the youth. That's right. They made a decision. The decision was, let's put front and center people like John Kasich and Michael Bloomberg. Let's bring in a bunch of speakers from the 1996 Republican convention. And what did you think was going to happen? You think young people are going to flock to that party? No, because, listen, here's the deal. A lot of younger people, they know when they're being placated. They know. Like, they really thought they could just, the Biden people could just give us little pats on the head, placate us. Well, let's have a unity commission where we come up with ideas that we won't do. Is that enough for you, stupid lefty? Well, it turns out most people, a lot of people on the left see that and they're like, yeah, that's ridiculous. I'm not buying it. You wrote the crime bill. You voted for the Iraq War. You're part of the establishment. You tried to cut Social Security. What do you want me to tell you? It is what it is. Like, that's your record. I don't like your record. What do you want me to tell you? So, of course this was going to happen. Now, I also find it funny, though, when they said, oh, the DNC was meant to unify the party. No, the way to unify the party would be to rally around an agenda that appeals to the party. If they wanted to rally around that agenda, then the things that were specifically rejected from the platform would have been included in the platform. Legalize marijuana, for example. Overwhelming majority of the American people were for that. Medicare for all. Overwhelming majority of the American people are for that. If you really wanted to unify the party, you can't just say unify around that person. It's got to be unify around a message and a set of policies that represent our values. And they're not doing that. They're trying to just say, shut up, turn your brain off, it's Biden. That's why they were angrily going after Ocasio-Cortez because she did her job following the procedures of the convention and, seconded Bernie Sanders to be the nominee. People were getting mad at her because she wasn't sycophantic enough to Joe, because she didn't mention Joe in her minute that they gave her, whatever it was, minute and 30 seconds. I don't remember the exact number. And it's like, all they know how to do is berate you, shame you, insult you, pester you to fall in line and shut up and support Joe. And they don't realize that this isn't something that works. What would work is serious, real concessions that are believable that Joe Biden will actually do on policy. But instead, they don't do that. They bring in Kasich and Bloomberg to tell all the, older suburban voters, don't worry, he won't go too far left. And then they're mad when the people who are young and on the left are like, okay, got it. Thank you. All the policy concessions cut in one direction. Neoliberal, corporatist, right wing. That's the policy concessions. That's the ideology. We get just the symbolic stuff, So people are onto it, man. People are onto it. Listen, my advice, if you want to get these young people to vote, all you have to take one policy, bro. Take one policy that young people really care about and hammer it home repeatedly. That's how you'll get young people to vote for you. That's it. Take one policy. I would say legalizing marijuana would be a good one. You know what? I was wrong. You guys are right. I'm going to legalize marijuana. I'm going to change the scheduling, and I'm going to do it on the first day in office. If you go out there and you hammer that home, young people will turn out for you in overwhelming numbers. If you don't do that, it's a crapshoot. Who knows? Or you could even, so nominally, Biden says he's in favor of a $15 minimum wage now. He never talks about it. Why does he never talk about it? Because he's actually not in favor of it. he just said it once and pretended because Bernie pushed him there, and then he didn't talk about it. If Biden were to, in every single speech, every single time he spoke, talk about this is my number one issue now, and I'm going to push for it relentlessly, that would also get young people out. But instead of doing that, they'll shame and insult young people, left-wingers, and they'll continue to really agree ideologically with the likes of Mike Bloomberg